Now that I have found you,
Hi y'all, welcome back. Second episode since we've been gone for a minute. Hope y'all enjoyed the first one. Make sure y'all check it out. Comment, do all that. This is Black in Medicine. I'm Monte.
Zay.
And today we got a fire episode for y'all. So honestly, we're gonna get straight to it. We got a lot to talk about. And we don't want to take no shortcuts. So as always, kick it off, bro. When you was sick in the house, right? What did your parents do? Like, how'd that go? What did that look like?
Honestly, for us, if anything, we wasn't really going too much to the hospital or whatever like that, unless it was crazy. But little something, either vapor rub. Typically, I know ginger ale low key big, but
Yeah.
we ain't never really do ginger ale. And me personally, I don't really like soda, so I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, vapor rub.
Facts.
Maybe some cough medicine, but I know a lot of black people don't really like medicine at all. Like, you feel me?
Yeah. Nah, it
was on the same time.
Exact same type of time. Like, I don't care what it was, dog. It was like my mom's would be like, "All you need is some ginger ale. He'll be all right. Like, he got the flu. Give him some ginger ale." Like, that was the answer to everything.
He got cancer. Ginger ale.
Yeah, like that's all you need.
Heart attack. Ginger ale.
He'll be all right. Like, he just sweat it out. Like, he'll be good.
Sweat it out was like I used to do that on purpose too. Like,
I never understood what they wanted me to sweat out. Like, Mom, what you want to get out of me?
Nah, that'd be, like I said, for sports. It was like, sick game on Friday. You gotta practice all week. You'll sweat it out. You'll be good by Friday.
Not only in medical school, it's like, dog, you was not sweating out a virus.
You was killing yourself.
Yeah, you was dehydrated. Like, so we saying that's how it was like in our household, and I think it's like that in all the black households. Do you think it was like that in other households outside of just like our ethnicity, our race?
No, facts. I know. I would say for more so like maybe ethnic ones.
Yeah.
Like Hispanic, like even like Indians and stuff like that. Like, I know they have like a lot of either home remedies.
Yeah, exactly.
Different like herbs and stuff like that. They will like either like make concoctions with. I know stuff like that, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think you do see a lot of like different ethnicities, like different cultures, where it's like, before we send you to a doctor, we trying all this stuff that grandma got in his book first. Like, you feel me? And
like a witch.
Yeah, it really is. But at least, we can only speak for our culture and everything like that. So at least for us, we know that comes from like it not being a lot of trust in the medical field, or in the physician at all. You think that that's something that has gotten better over time, or you think that's still prevalent today, like that distrust?
I think it's still low key bad. I think it was worse. Like, you talk about 1900s, all that. Like, it was probably definitely worse because things was a lot more like in your face as far as like segregation. Like, good and well, you go to the hospital, you're not even getting a good room. So if your room nasty, how I'm gonna be treated?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get sick, even more sick, just being in this room.
Yeah.
So you knew that. But nowadays, no segregation. Everybody get the same room. But then again, it's probably still a little bit of physician mistrust, or patient physician mistrust of like, all right, like you really bang with me. Like, if I come here, is you really gonna take care of me?
Am I getting the best care? Yeah.
You feel me? Like, back in the old days, you wasn't. You feel me? So what changed now that if I go, my Duke said don't go.
Yeah.
My Duke said don't go.
Exactly.
My Duke said don't go.
Exactly.
So like, what you think? You think I'm gonna go?
And that's what I think is like so important when we're talking about medical distrust, specifically within our community, is the fact that no, we never had any specific moment where it's like to made us not believe. But if that's all that's being passed down through generation to generation through generation, all I need to know is mom said don't we not do. That's enough.
And I ain't going against mama.
Hey, and you don't gotta tell me twice. Like we don't rock with them, cool. Like
so you don't rock with them, I don't rock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think a big problem, I think too, that I feel like I had chasing, being in position in this field was that I think a lot of people looked at the two as like two separate kind of like entities. Like there's racism, and that's what happens in the outside world, and then there's medicine. And so like for me personally, like when I like my personal statement, when they used to ask me why I wanted to be a doctor, of course it was like because I want to take care of people and all that kind of stuff. But a big part of it was because my people get mistreated daily through racism, through structural racism, all that kind of stuff like that, and that shows up in medicine, and I want to help solve that. And for a lot of people, that wasn't enough. It would be like, okay, but why you really want to be a doctor? And I'm like, I just told you why. Like what else
you think I'm lying?
Yeah, like that's the reason. And for me, I always was really adamant about that because I feel like my point was always like, specifically historically, like the medical profession was used to build up racism. Like when you talk about like why slave owners felt like they could treat their slaves the way they wanted to, it was because a doctor just told me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was. Shout out to the class that we took.
Yeah.
It was like racism in medicine. We learned a lot in there, but facts like back in like slavery days, essentially, literally like what you said, doctors would post whole like publications, research about how Black people's like nervous systems were more adept to pain, so like they didn't really like feel pain the same.
Yeah.
They would say that their minds weren't there, so they weren't kind of back to they weren't feeling the pain. They would say, "Oh, you have to treat them bad but don't treat them too bad because you don't want them to run away." But their mind, like it works in a certain way where they need correction. But like I said, not too much. Make sure you feed them. Don't feed them too much. They might get lazy. But I promise you. And like I said, these were actual like physicians like that went to medical school and they're posting this stuff. So again, what doctor tells me, what do you think I'm gonna listen to?
Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly. And that's exactly my point. Like when you think about racism and slavery back in the day, medicine helped build that up to a big extent. Like that's where that justification came from. Like this is science, right? Science is telling me this about these people and about slavery, and science is telling me, yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm treating them right. So when we think about like medical profession, the reason why like racism comes up so much, and I think why I'm so adamant about it is because like that's what like been since the beginning. And I think because you mentioned like what we learned in that course. Shout out to that course.
Yeah, nah, facts.
One of the craziest things I remember reading in one of the articles, they was like, they like to sleep next to the fire with their head like and I'm like, because it's time with their lungs, it gets them better oxygen. I'm like, dog, like he wasn't just cold, like
it can't just be cold.
You can't just want to sleep on the side, like it gotta be a whole like, and that's why you gotta treat them like this. And I was like, yo, that's crazy to me,
bro. I promise you.
So facts, like, and we talking about like slavery, right? And how it was really existent then, but even after slavery, it was still tragedy, things that happened that contributed to that mistrust.
Yeah, nah, facts. There was a lot, and again, it all perpetuates from like all this research, building up the medical, field, medical knowledge, all that. But it honestly came at the injustice of Black people. We always hear about Tuskegee study. That's like the most famous one, but little did you know, that was only the tip of the iceberg.
Ready to.
Which one are we going to talk about first?
Let's talk about J. Maryam. Let's talk about
J. Maryam. So J. Maryam Sims, he was quote unquote the father of gynecology. So I think this was actually technically during slavery.
Yep.
I don't quote me on the years, but back
Like 1800s.
1800s?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, father of gynecology. So one of the issues back then was there was this issue of fistulas. And
what's a fistula?
so let me teach y'all something.
Let's get out Dr. Bag.
I'm not stepping.
Yeah.
But so basically, and there would be vesicular urethral.
Yeah.
Vesicular
What's that?
urethral fistula. So basically, and it typically happened after childbirth, where there would be, in a female reproductive system, the bladder is in front and you have the urethra, then your vagina is right behind it, and then your rectum is right behind that. During childbirth, the vagina would enlarge, and the baby's got to come through, but they're so close together, like the urethra and the vagina, there would be tears that led from the vagina to urethra. So you could imagine if there's a whole bunch of urine and pee in the bladder, and it's directly connected to this hole of the vagina, it just leaks right through. Exactly. So it's basically like a continuous, like just all the urine that's coming from your bladder goes straight through. And God forbid if it's your rectum, because now you just got poop coming through your vagina.
Yeah, so exactly.
This was like a really big thing, like, oh, like how do we fix this? This happens a lot in like postpartum women. I know how to fix it.
How do we fix it?
That's what he said.
What should we do?
I know how to fix it.
Okay, what?
Let's do surgery.
Okay, who you want to get though? Like, we don't got no subjects. Man. Like, we need somebody to try this on, dog.
We do. Yo.
What?
You got a few slaves I could use?
Not like you mentioned it.
Bro, I promise you. So, J. Marion Sims basically did that in a sense. Maybe not like that, but there was about 10 slaves, and there's 3 like notable names. You know the names off the top of your head?
Yeah. One was Lucy.
Lucy, I think Betsy. Right?
Yeah, that was definitely one. So yeah, like you said, three women.
It was 3 big ones that we like specifically, like historically know the names of, and he would basically take these women. Mind you, this is also 1800s. There's no anesthesia.
Dad, so you telling me I gotta like, so they going inside of me, cutting up and doing these things with no kind of pain relief?
No anesthesia. We not putting you to sleep.
So I gotta be up.
You gotta be up. You gotta feel all the pain.
But why didn't you just get white women? Like, why
would we do that when we have all these slaves?
Okay.
So, but nah, for real though, it was like he would use the slaves and like kind of torment them with this surgery.
Yeah.
Again, in the end, yeah, we found a way to fix fistulas. Yay. But at what cost? You feel me? Like, again, you put these slave women literally through hell to try and fix, this thing.
Yeah.
So again, that's definitely something like, why would I, like, if you think so low of me to take me as like this random test dummy and subject me to so much pain, why would I trust you?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think too, because you mentioned that like there was no anesthesia back in that day. So when we talk about the different like even like tropes and stereotypes that like women and black people get, like, oh, they can endure so much pain. Like a lot of that came from because they did their thing on us, no anesthesia, and we
survived.
And we survived. Like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle.
A white woman, white man
would never. Like, it gotta be because like, and I'm gonna read a quote. This is from an article. We'll drop this in the comment or description. So if y'all want to check it out, yes, definitely do that. But this is J. Marion Sims writing in his like experts or whatever. And he says, the first patient I operated on was Lucy. That was before the days of anesthetics, and the poor girl on her knees before the operation with great heroism and bravery. Operation was not successful, and I attempted to repair the defect. He goes on to talk about how like his pain was just so extreme and like so agonizing, but she took it.
And they know that it's painful. That's the crazy part.
Exactly. And so like, again, going back to our point of like, when we think about a lot of the things that we see today in medicine and like, why does that show up? A lot of it traces back to history. So, and I feel like I feel like the kind of argument people say a lot of time is, bro, that happened 100 years ago. Like, why are you still talking about it? It ain't happened to you.
Little did you know. So again, that's 1800s. Yeah. Why do we care 1800s?
That's far.
That's far. 1970s.
Okay. 1970?
1970s. So as most people know, like to determine like gender in a sense, you have XY chromosomes, you know, XX female, XY male.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes issues with you know, the way that the chromosomes split to where you get the XYY chromosome.
Mm-hmm. Typically males are XY and females are XX.
Yeah, but this XYY was supposed to be like this super masculine, like they were thinking like, oh, because you have this extra Y, you have all this extra testosterone, it must make you more prone to be a criminal. You have all this testosterone, you have all this extra Y genes and stuff like that. It makes you more of a man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So who should we test to test this theory?
Listen. Let's take 7,000 male teenagers.
White?
95% black. Because you want to know why?
Why?
Black men are already
predisposed
to violence. So there must be some connection, right?
Okay, so
why are they acting so criminal? Like
we gotta figure out and prove scientifically why this race acts like this.
Exactly. So let's test 7,000. I don't know what the other 5% is, but it was about 95% black. I don't know what the other 5%, but 7,000 black and or like other male teens tested them, drew their blood. They didn't know if they had these XYY chromosomes, but they were just, you know, taking it out, doing the blood draws, trying to see if they had it, but not telling the parents, not telling the teens why they were drawing the blood. And once they drew the blood, they sent it to like the courts, to the medical facilities, and they could use that blood as they wished. So again, that's more of like a lesser known thing. But again, you're drawing my blood. You're not telling me what it's for.
Yeah.
It's for this supposed study.
Lying to me. Like,
and why is this study, you know, directed at me?
What did I do?
You know what I mean? So again, you talking about, oh, it happened so long ago.
It's not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
And we talking about two, 3 instances. There's a list of instances.
There's a lot.
Out of prestigious medical schools and institutions that, like, you know, we look up to, or, you know, put on a pedestal. And I think that goes back to like we built medicine. Like I think it's a lot of things in this country that like it's hard to like find press where it's like we didn't contribute to in some way. Right? You asked me the question earlier today. Like, what'd you ask me, just so that they know?
Oh, which one did I ask you? I actually. So what do you want?
Yeah.
Facts. So all right, cool. Black people, they were used. We wouldn't be at medicine. We wouldn't be in medicine where we are now if it wasn't for, you know, the use, I could say, quote unquote, of black people. So what do you want? You want to thank you? What do you like? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, it's not even a thank you that I want. I want y'all to stop acting like this y'all club and y'all giving us permission to join the club. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want it to turn into like nah, I helped build the club. Like, it wouldn't be no club if it wasn't for me. Like, all the advances y'all got. Talk about syphillis, where like a severe STD that plagued y'all for years. I didn't have an answer to it. It's because y'all tested me. Like, you know what I mean? Talking about fishless, me. Like, my ancestors did that. Like, so we're talking about medicine, and we're talking about the majority of people who make up medicine. It's not us. Other people who built it. Nah, it's the people like at the forefront of it and built this wall of like, nah, we say who get in here. And it's kind of like, dog, it wouldn't be no here. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's what I would want. Like, that kind of like acknowledgement of like, nah, y'all are important to this, and we need more of y'all, because without y'all we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah. Facts. I would say, and again, it's definitely not like we want to thank you, no,
yeah.
But again, also like kind of what you had said already, like just like one, recognizing that facts, it was wrong. Like again, facts, it helped, whatever. But the way it went about, or you know, medicine went about getting all this information and like advances was wrong, honestly. But it is what it is. It happened. We have it.
Yeah.
not a thanks per se, but like a
Mm-hmm.
all right, almost an appreciation of like, okay, like we understand, or the medical field understands that we facts, like we wouldn't be where we are without, you know, black people
Yeah.
in a sense. Like even like outside of medicine, like a lot of black inventions, like
Yeah.
the traffic light. We would just be running into each other. You feel me? Like
For real.
so. But
For real.
facts.
Now, okay, so let's say somebody's like, though, okay, y'all talking about distrust in medicine. Um, does that really have a role? Like so what, you don't trust your physician? Like you there to get cured and get out. Like do you think distrust and that kind of patient physician relationship matters when it comes to like health outcomes among black communities, among all communities, but specifically black communities?
Facts, because one, if I don't trust you, why am I seeing you?
Yeah.
So if I don't trust the doctor, I'm not going to go see him in the first place.
Yeah.
So that can lead to issues of like, how what do I say? Like catching different diseases too late, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
heart disease because of hypertension. If I
Yeah.
caught the hypertension when I was 40, I wouldn't have heart disease when I was
Yeah.
60. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I didn't go when I was 40 because
I
I
ain't
ain't trust
trust.
you.
Yeah,
Now
exactly.
I gotta go, yeah, but it's because I got
Yeah,
chest pain every day. You feel me?
exactly.
Um, but then all right, now I'm here. Do I trust you to one understand where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's a big thing. Like,
That is.
I have facts. You tell me eat differently,
Uh-huh.
work out more, do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't eat this, don't
Mm-hmm.
eat that. I live in a food desert. Let's say
Yeah.
that. I live in a food desert. Where I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting this healthy food from.
Yeah.
I don't got a gym within a 15-minute,
Yeah.
proximity, and I don't got a car. How
Facts.
am I getting to the gym?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel me? I don't live in a safe neighborhood, but you want me to go outside and take a
Mm-hmm.
jog.
Mm-hmm.
So, one, can you understand the
Understand.
factors
Yeah.
that I'm like living in to
Yeah.
treat me well enough to,
To overcome
fix
those
or
barriers.
cure
Yeah.
or like, two, all right, facts, you tell me, oh, for your condition, for
Mm-hmm.
this, whatever, you need to take this medication,
Okay.
you need
Am I
this
believing you,
surgery.
or am I taking that medication when you tell me to take it if I don't trust you?
Probably not. And do I even trust you that this is, what did we say earlier? Black people don't even like taking medicine.
I really don't. Hey yo, I ain't gonna lie. Even me in the medical field, I don't like taking medicine. Like I will wait until something like passes on its own before I like take meds. Like if I'm taking meds because I'm down bad, I'm like, nah, I need something. Like I really like, even now I don't. Um, but that's a habit that I think I'm also like trying to get out of because if my doctor don't take meds,
So
how
why
would
would I
I?
take medicine?
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's overcoming, just past historical traumas and learning like, okay, nah, and as you become, I think, more educated and we learn, it's
Mm,
easier to do that. But then imagine those who aren't in the field of medicine who still like how that trust is getting built. Like I'm not even learning
yeah,
what y'all learning, and you know, you feel me?
yeah. Like I said, I think that comes down to one, honestly, what we doing now, like
Yeah.
putting like being black in medicine. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to the,
Shout out
you feel me?
to
But facts, like having a lot more black people in the field to where we for the most part trust each other,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
black community, black
yeah,
people trust black people.
yeah.
So seeing like a familiar face definitely will
And
help.
if I tell you, nah, dog,
Like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You
trust me,
feel me?
like you
Like
need to take this, you need to take metformin for that diabetes because you're doing it. Exercise on stuff is great, but you're gonna make 100 strides longer if you take this med. Like I need you to
hmm
do that. Like
like I know like you don't like it, but facts, do that.
yeah,
That's number one. All right, number two, we can't because I don't know. I think we talked about it before we took our hiatus, but black people in medicine numbers is scary, like
oh for
scary low.
sure, for
So I
sure.
whatever. We can't change that overnight. We can't get
Mm-hmm.
specific
Mm-hmm.
exact representation of
Yeah,
black population in US and black
in
population in the
medicine.
medicine
Mm-hmm.
field. We can't do that. All right, what do we do next? I think it's to the extent of just educate, like any provider
Mm-hmm.
educating your patients of like give them more of a reason, like why you're doing stuff. Like, don't just say, "Oh, facts, we're doing this."
And that's what we rocking with.
Yeah. Like, people have autonomy. You feel me? And people like to know what's going on. People like to know, like feel like they have control.
And that goes a
in
long
some
way.
sense. Yeah. Outside of that, like we said earlier, understand where I'm coming from. You feel me? Because like I said, I can't do everything that you're telling me to do because I might not have access. I might not have this. I might not have that. But if I could tell that you like, I understand where you're coming from. You feel me? If I feel like you actually taking a second or taking a moment to like understand
and listen,
all right, word. This cat a little cool. You feel me? He cool.
And that helps me open up because now I feel like, okay, now I could tell them about the symptoms I was having because I know that they're listening to me. You know what I mean? They're not gonna disregard it. Like, and that helps in that like patient-physician relationship. And so I feel like all of that matters. And like we were talking about, just because we've seen it in the 1970s, and we've seen it back in slavery, and we've seen it a couple years ago.
Oh yeah,
true. Like during the COVID-19 pandemic, like when people were getting vaccinated, what community do you think was the last ones or was the most hesitant to go get vaccinated? Like it was us. Like, you know what I mean? Because of that distrust. So like you talking about like, although it doesn't sound like a major thing, it has like lasting impacts. You're talking about a pandemic, people are dying. Like the race that Black people died at was far more greater than the race that other people died at because of that, because of a lot of social determinants of health, but also because of a lack of vaccination. And so it definitely shows up today, and I think it's something that like, you know, it's important for us to keep in mind and keep at the forefront. So let's say like as we close out, you got a white physician, white doctor, and they say, yo, just teach me how can I. You touched on it too, but like you got to give them some key points of like, I want to relate more. I want my patients to trust me more. What should I do? Like I'm trying, but what should I do?
Again, be more like, just make sure, not even be more, just make sure that one, you're listening, you're open to, again, the struggles, be more open to what you're doing, talk about like what you're doing, why you're doing it, all that. Not leaving people in the dark, again, kind of goes along with that. And honestly, I feel like low-key another part of it is just being out in the community. You feel me? Like, I don't think the medical field does enough of that. Like, I feel like even at like certain, some people, so like it's select few physicians or select few specialties, but like awareness walks, like sickle cell awareness.
Why do you think that
or something
matters?
like that? Because again, it shows that you're a part of the community. Like,
but I'm a doctor. My job is to go to the office, write these scripts, and that's it, and go home. What me being in the community got to do with it?
Like I said, it's almost like the same thing as like the whole cop thing of like, if the cops are in the community outside of just like arresting everybody, like if I see the cops, throwing a football around the kids, or hosting like a health, not a health fair, but like some type of fair, a community event, like, that maybe they're not as bad as we think they are. You feel me? Like,
and maybe that idea that I had of you from my past, I changed that perception.
Exactly. You're like a person now.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like, I don't only see you in this one realm of like, you're technically above me in this, in the office, technically kind of like the doctor is above you, and like people don't like that feeling. But again, I see you in the community. I see you helping us out. I see you having fun with us. You're just a real person. You're cool. You feel me?
And that patient physician relationship matters so much. And I think too, like going off of what you said, it's also about like redefining what it really means to be a physician. Like, at least for me, like I always think when I think about what it means to be a doctor, it's not just writing that script and getting the right answer. Like, I feel like that's the easiest part of medicine. Like we learn in textbooks all day how to treat and what that diagnosis is. But when you're in the real world, it's not that simple. So like to me, being a doctor includes like, okay, now how can I address those barriers that you're experiencing? Because although they're difficult, those barriers impact your health. And I'm worried about your health. So I can't get to that if I can't overcome that. So I need the whole gambit. Like, I need all of it. And so in fact, like you said, being out in the community, I think plays a big part. Not being dismissive with your patients when they come up and tell you, oh, I'm feeling this symptom. And not thinking, oh, they're just paranoid. You know what I mean? Like, they're acknowledging that. with the program I'm in or whatever, and I volunteer at the clinic, a lot of the things the physician I see do, she listening. Like I see her go through 3-4 patients and she don't write them no medication, but she sit down for that 15-30 minutes and you're listening and like, nah, I understand, that's hard. I understand that. Like tell me more. And they walk out like, "I doc, hope to see you next week." Like
say, you don't even got to see me for 3 months.
Exactly.
Nah, I'm gonna come see you next week.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's what you want, because like at the end of the day, I didn't prescribe them nothing, but they walked out feeling hurt, and they walked out feeling like, I got somebody a part of my team, and I got somebody who care, moving forward. And I think that's not important. So as we close out this episode, I think the main thing that we want to take away is that distrust in the medical field, specifically among Black communities, is very prevalent and still exists today. And it's something that exists because of what happened in the past. And we talked about these things not to like relive the trauma, but to highlight it, because I don't know, personally, I feel like it's gonna be, I don't think you can ever get to a point where you stop acknowledging those atrocities that happened, because at that point you erase part of African American history, and that's
you can't do that.
You can't do that. So it's always going to be up. There is no avoiding it. It's just, you can't avoid it. You should address it head on, and try your best to overcome that and foster that. So yeah, man. I mean, y'all got any questions, any comments in the below, any personal experiences that you want to share? Definitely feel free to drop them below. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Tune in next couple, on our Instagram for the next episode. And give me your IG, bro.
KXNG.ZX on the IG and the TikTok.
Facts. And you already know, man, Black and Mass not IG, and then personal UPSOHAI. It's a fact. It's a wrap.